Good morning. If you just join in, thank you. Thank you for joining in. If you just join in, make sure you hit the like button. Thank you, Fashion. Thank you. Thank you. If you just tune in, please hit the share button. My name is Fonton Daniel here in the great state of Texas here in the United States. Please remember to hit the share button. If thank you, Chico. Thank you for joining in. Thank you, Shell, for joining in. Thank you, African Queen. Thank you for joining in. My name is Fonton Daniel. I am speaking this evening here in the great state of Texas here. The key issues that I am going to be talking about is the crisis that is ongoing in Cameroon, and that is very crucial. That is very important. So please remember to hit thank you for joining in. Thank you. Please, could you hit the share button, and could you, if you have an opportunity, just give some reward, diamond, stars, all those good stuff. That is so much empower me, inspire me, and that has been wonderful. I know last time that I spoken, you guys inspire me, and so I really appreciate all of you for joining in. I am here in the great state of Texas, here in the United States. Thank you, Don. Thank you, Margaret. Thank you, C4. Thank you. Please remember to hit the share button. It's very crucial, very important. Remember to hit the share button. And I am so glad that you guys let go your other activities, but you are joining me live in this broadcast. So I am so overwhelmed with joy for you guys to join and just to listen to me. And please remember to put some note where you join me live. If you're here in the United States, you are in Europe, you are in Cameroon. You're in Cameroon because you know there is ongoing chaos in Cameroon as we speak. And so I appreciate all of you. Je vous remercie. Moi, je m'appelle Daniel. Je suis ici aux États-Unis. Je viens de vous remercier pour me joindre ce soir. Je vous remercie calmement très bien parce que vous avez laissé votre chose pour me suivre ici cette soir. C'est très how do you say it in English? That's très important pour moi, and I love you guys, so I really thank you. And so if you have an opportunity, could you hit the share button and hit so that we have more followers to join us in this broadcast. Here again, my name is Funto Daniel, here in the great state of Texas, here in the United States. Thank you for God join. Thank you, Luz. If you have an opportunity to hit the share button and hit the like, and also follow me. Follow me. Oh, that's one important thing. Remember to follow me. Remember to follow me. That is very important. And also hit the diamond. If you can give me a diamond, that would be great. You know how important it is just to support. You guys are fabulous people that, I am overwhelmed with joy, and I kind of, so you guys are amazing, and I really, really love you guys. Please, if you just join me live, please hit the share button. If you have opportunity for the diamond, whatever you can to keep this program moving. You guys are so wonderful. And please don't remember to put some comments line where you are joining me. Where, if you are here in the United States, in Europe, in Africa, in Asia, in South America, or wherever, in China, in Russia, wherever you join me live, I really appreciate all of you. So I know there is ongoing chaos in Cameroon as we speak. There is ongoing chaos, and you have a president that has had a tremendous career. You have a president that has had a tremendous career and decide to defraud the election just because they want him in power. So let me I am going to be talking in issues that people often doesn't speak. I'm telling you, I know many of you understand this. You see, Cameroon is a former French colony. So, but right now, election just took in October 12. Election just took place in October 12. And overwhelmingly Cameroonians choose Issa Tchiroma Bakary. And overwhelmed, it's not just a circumstances, it's that the people need a change. The people of Cameroon, they need a change. And they overwhelmingly voted Issa Tchiroma Bakary. They call territorial administration minister is the architect of fraudulent elections in Cameroon. And not only Cameroon, but Africa as a whole. They are particularly overwhelmed with the fraud elections. And so in this particular case of Cameroon in particular, you have a president that have had a tremendous career. Paul Biya has been in power since 1982. Probably myself, how old were I? Probably many of you joined were not even born at the time. So he has had a tremendous career. So he has been in power for 43 years as a president of a country. Imagine 43 years as a president of a country. Besides that, he was a prime minister 1975. He was a prime minister 1975 before becoming a president 1982. Prior to that, he was the Secretary General at the presidency. Prior to 1975, he was a Secretary General at the presidency. So he has had an overwhelmingly tremendous career as a president. So what else does he need? What else does he need? When you look critically, in 1982, when he became president, it was President Ronald Reagan, late President Ronald Reagan of the United States. And since from President Ronald Reagan of the United States, how many U.S. presidents have they changed? Now you can count from 1982 till the current moment that I am speaking here. So it is deeply regretting for the people of Cameroon. Now, There are two particular individuals of interest. No, three. There are three people of interest in Cameroon. Oh, sorry. If you just joined me live, I really appreciate you. Please, could you hit the share button? Hit the share button. I mean, that will give me an impact. You guys are amazing. I am here in a great state of Texas. I am glad that you guys have taken off your time to join me in this live broadcast. So you guys are very amazing people. And just to take off your moment just to listen to me is so overwhelming for the support you guys are giving me. And so also, if you can have the moment to just hit the share button, and also follow me too as well, so that in case I have subsequent broadcasts, you will be able to join me in this amazing journey. And please hit the diamond share button, the diamond button, and whatever you can support. This is overwhelming for me. I really love you guys. You guys are so amazing people. Please, if you can hit any kind of button or love, whatever you can give, that you have it available at your disposal, please don't hesitate. And that would be a great way to support me in this media, to help bring this interesting story about the people of Cameroon. It is chaotic as I speak. So now I was speaking about Paul Biya. Paul Biya. So as I said, that he has had a tremendous career as a president of a country for 43 years. So the people of Cameroon deserve a change. They deserve a change. They deserve a change. They deserve a change for the goodness of the people of Cameroon. They need a new fresh leader. They need a new fresh leader with new ideas and how to transform the country. So let me give you a little bit background about Cameroon. And I know many of you, the worst in Cameroon is that historical facts are never told or taught in school. Historical facts are never taught. Many of you look at Cameroon, I know for my fellow brothers of the French speaking. I know I spoke to one guy, he saw me, and when we started discussing, and he said, Cameroon, how did Anglophone emerge? We don't know much about Anglophone because we never taught in school. Yeah, that is true. Yeah, it was the true historical facts are never taught in school in Cameroon. The, the censorship of education system prevent the real historical facts about Cameroon and Southern Cameroon. So Cameroon is like Canada, where you have the British colony and the French colony. So you have the United Nations Resolution 1514 XV. It specifically says that those colonial territory. You remember that the Germans were defeated during the Second World War. Then the United Nations, first of all, it was what they called the League of Nations. The League of Nations was banned, was ended, and you have a United Nations that was formed in 1945 here in Los Angeles, here in the United States. So a League of Nations was ended, and the United Nations was formed. And the United Nations says those territories that were under the colonial administration should be given their full right independence. This comes to a resolution 1415 XV that specifically state. So to meet the criteria of those resolutions, there must be a people, there must be within a geographical location, and there must be a colonial territory. So those are the criteria for a nation to be considered independence. So you have France, you have Cameroon. The actual name is called La République du Cameroun because it was a French colony. So it was a French colony, so it's called La République du Cameroun. But what they call Cameroon is somehow a converted version, which is inaccurate. When you call it Cameroon, then you specifically not giving a clarity of what is supposed to be. So the real name is La République du Cameroon. So France, by meeting this resolution of United Nations, obligation of United Nations Resolution of 1514 XV, for France to meet those obligations in 1958, France officially terminate its relationship with La République du Cameroon. So in meeting the standard of United Nations resolution, France terminate its relationship. I know many people say, but why France have a lot of influence? I'm going to talk about that, but let's look at key factors. Let's look at the key factors. So France terminate its relationship with Cameroon. So when France terminate the relationship, United Nations picks over. So when United Nations picks over, it automatically recognized La République du Cameroon as an independent nation. So what happened next is very important. So pay attention. What happened next? So what happened next is that France has officially recognized termination of the relationship. Now, United Nations recognized La République du Cameroon as an independent nation, which became effectively January 1st, 1960. That's a historical background. Now, look at the Southern Cameroon questions. So, British should have followed the same suit and do exactly the same with relationship with the people of Southern Cameroon. The people of Southern Cameroon has a territory. The United Nations Resolution 1514 XV says there must be what? A territory. There must be a people, and there must belongs to a colony. So Southern Cameroon meet those three criteria. So British should have terminated the relationship with the people of Southern Cameroon, and the United Nations picks over, and Southern Cameroon become an independent nation. So here is the flaws. How British colonial administrator deprive the people of Southern Cameroon for their right to existence. Here is the stupid and incoherent argument presented by the British government. They said the people of Southern Cameroon at the time did not meet economic stability to be able to become a sovereign nation. That is a stupid argument put forward. And why is that argument irrelevant? Because the people of Southern Cameroon did not need. So British government usually provides subvention to its colonies to sustain them. So, but it based on economic stability of that region. So, but Southern Cameroon has excessive surplus in the balance sheet. Do you get me right? British Southern Cameroon has excessive in its economic balance sheet. You have trade deficit and surplus. So they have trade surplus in its balance sheet. So the British Southern Cameroon did not need any subsidies from the British government. Whereas the northern zone that you may know that is joined Nigeria, they needed subsidies from British government, whereas the people of Southern Cameroon does not need because they have excess surplus in their balance sheet. So therefore, if on an economic term, the people of Southern Cameroon meet the criteria, because let's look at back again. In Southern Cameroon, you can borrow 500,000 CFA in Southern Cameroon, and that money will be disbursed in Southern Cameroon. Disbursed means will provide a loan. If you borrow, it will be disbursed in Southern Cameroon. Whereas in La République at the same time, that set amount will have to be approved in France. That's what you now see why France exerted control glue, even though he says he recognized the independence of La République du Cameroun. They did not. They did not. They did not recognize the independence of La République. Why should the money of that sum that can be fiscally disbursed in Southern Cameroon cannot be disbursed in France, in La République du Cameroon? Because they did not have economic independence. Now, let me go back again on the clarity of the relationship between Southern Cameroon and La République du Cameroon. So, La République du Cameroon let me go back to the Southern Cameroon question because I have to make clarity. What's the relationship between the people of Southern Cameroon and La République du Cameroon? So, Southern Cameroon, prior to 1961, the British administrator was residing in Nigeria. They call the Enugu House of Assembly. Why I am bringing this fact between the relationship between Southern Cameroon and La République du Cameroon is because many people are confused because this fact and clarity are not spoken or told. And so it will be an important learning tools if you happen to be from La République du Cameroon. That will be an important learning tools for you to understand the relationship between the people of Southern Cameroon and La République du Cameroon. So, the people of Southern Cameroon have elected representatives because in Nigeria they have vast majority of people. So the British administrator was residing in Nigeria rather than in Southern Cameroon when they have a small population. So the elected officials of Southern Cameroon would travel to Enugu House of Assembly in Nigeria where they meet their representative, which is the colonial administrator. They discuss about day-to-day activities of the territory and economic impact and economic prosperity. So the Southern Cameroon elect its first prime minister. That is Dr. Endele. Dr. Endele is the first elected prime minister of Southern Cameroon. So with his assembly leaders, they would go to Enugu House of Assembly to discuss the issues. So he and Django Foncha was subsequently elected as the next prime minister. And Endele handed over power to Django Foncha. And the subsequent election where Joa became the third prime minister of Southern Cameroon. So Southern Cameroon, for fact, is the first West African country to practice democracy, including Nigeria, Ghana, Sierra Leone, Ivory Coast, and all those areas, Senegal. So Southern Cameroon is the first African country in West Africa to demonstrate a transfer of power to an elected officials without any war, fighting, or everything. So when Southern Cameroon is talking about democracy, talking about change of power, that is why they did not just begin it now. They have actually practiced it. So La République has never. Now you understand about Southern Cameroon case when they talk about form of structure of government or federation, whatever. I know many people didn't know what is federation, and that is a full lesson that I'm going to lecture about what is federation. Because people just say, oh, secessionist. No, they are ignorant of what is secession. There is a clarity between secession. So for understanding this brief fact that I have just shared with you, now you can understand that if the people of Southern Cameroon, so now how did the relationship terminate? Which I haven't spoken about it. So why did the people of Southern Cameroon were given options by the British government? Do you opt for an independent by joining Nigeria, or do you opt for an independent by joining La République du Cameroon? Why was such a conditional clause brought in? Why was such a conditional clause? because they actually meet the criteria by the United Nations to be a complete independent nation. But however, that clause that do we opt for an independent by joining La Republic, or do you opt an independent? First, you opted means you become an independent nation. Then later on join Nigeria. Or do you opt for an independent nation or before joining La Republic du Cameroon? So Southern Cameroon came as an equal entity like La Republic du Cameroon. They did not come as a subordinate to La Republic du Cameroon. They did not come as this. So over time, La Republic with its proxy, France. So La Republic du Cameroon with the proxy of France, because of the mineral in Southern Cameroon, use every tools with the complicity of this ignorant, some citizens of Southern Cameroon try to undo those, what they call a federal structure system. So now, let's dive back to look at the political structure of La Republic du Cameroon. I'm sure you guys are really anxious to know what is exactly is the structure of La Republic du Cameroon. So, Ahidjo was a handpicked by France. Ahidjo was never elected by the people of La Republic du Cameroon. It was a handpicked by France. Why? Initially, there was a political party in La Republic du Cameroon, because in order for France's termination of its relationship, a new government has to be formed to take over French administration. So a political party was formed, and that was known as the UPC. The UPC was adamantly against French influence. So the UPC political wing or political party was adamantly against French influence in Cameroon. Because of that clause, France completely hated the UPC party. So France hate the UPC party. Oh, hello. If you're still joining me, please just hit the share button and hit the like button. Whatever you can do, keep this momentum going. It's very crucial. It's very important. If you join me live, thank you for taking off your precious time to join me in this live broadcast. And I really admire you. I know it's not often, it's a challenge to forgo your activities to join me in this live broadcast. Please hit the share button and thank you for joining me in this broadcast. Please, if you have some rose or some diamonds, whatever is within your means, please don't hesitate to hit or give. That will inspire me and it will help me, and I really appreciate you for taking those precious and give. It is not often easy, but however, by doing that, you are helping, you're promoting me. So I really thank you so much, and God bless you. But again, let's go back to how did Ahidjo became and why not other way around? Yeah, so we talked about UPC. So UPC was supposed to be the party to form a government in La Republic du Cameroon. UPC won the first election conducted in La Republic du Cameroon. For those of you just joining me live, you want to really know why I call La Republic du Cameroon instead of Cameroon. You might be thinking that I am biased. I'm not biased, but I'm giving you historical facts that people often mistakenly, unknowingly, because it was never taught in school. So people are not aware of this accurately, because La Republic du Cameroon has consistently deprived the people of historical facts. And so I am here presenting these facts and for your understanding what happened. Why did Ahidjo emerge in Cameroon? Because the political party that won 26 members of parliament in La Republic du Cameroon was supposed to form a government. So, but because of the philosophy of the UPC, that were very rigid against France. They wanted complete independence from France and economic and political freedom from France. So France hated this clause. So France, as you all saw, I remember somebody in Douala would say, oh, je me vais chez moi. Tu sais, est-ce que vous comprenez? Je me vais chez moi en Paris. No, not really. France, Paris is not chez toi. It's not chez toi. You know, because they don't recognize you. Je vous dis exactement, le français, parce que quand vous voyez le français, quand il parle le mot là, il dit le gros mot là, il dit que oh, vous êtes chez vous, vous ne pensez pas à des choses comme ça parce que quand vous êtes en Paris, vous êtes chez vous parce que it's because they are very France is an exploitative. France is an exploitative, and the choice of word, when they are intended to exploit you, that is where they use those gros mots. And so you can understand how did Southern Cameroon or did France relationship with La République, France relationship with La République, and why Ahidjo emerged. So the UPC was supposed to form a government because 26 members of parliament were elected into the UPC party. So they were supposed to form a government. But their vision and their philosophy that complete independence of France. And what happened? So that UPC party was disbanded. The UPC party was disbanded from Cameroon. And when it was disbanded, the leaders of the UPC were being hunted by France. Now you can see why the helicopter were shooting people in Douala in the 1950s, 60s. They were killing the leaders of the UPC. Some of the leaders of the UPC took an asylum in Southern Cameroon because remember that at the time, Southern Cameroon had relationship with Nigeria. So people of the UPC now seek asylum in Southern Cameroon for a place to reside. So many of the UPC leaders were in Southern Cameroon seeking an asylum for a place to live. So whereas in La République du Cameroon, so Ahidjo was a stewardship that was picked by France because he was very loyal. Ahidjo was very loyal to the French system. And so he was picked and forced onto La République du Cameroon as the president of La République du Cameroon. That is the origin of Ahidjo. But Ahidjo wasn't a bad leader. Although his education was not that efficient, but he wasn't a bad leader. And Muslims in particular are very human. They respect human dignity. There was no suffering within the time that they were, although the UPC were being guillotined. I know you want to ask what is a guillotine if you are not familiar with the history. Guillotine was the form of execution that was applied in France in the 18th century. No, in the 16th century by Louis the 18th. Was a form of guillotine. People were executed. That's their neck was chopped off. That's what I mean. So guillotine was a form of a neck chopped off that were cut off. So this guillotine was applied by France against member of the UPC. That's why when you see they talk about guillotine in Douala, that is what they are referring to. The chopping out of people of the UPC leaders in Douala. Now you can understand where I am coming from factual. Now let's go back now to the Southern Cameroon. So in 1982, France fell in love of this guy that was once supposed to be a priest. So France fell in love on this guy that studied in France and was supposed to be a priest. And this guy now known today as Paul Biya. So Paul Biya is a tool. That's why you see at times he say, I am a first student of Paris. It's that mentality that he was molded by France to be head of the French enterprise. French enterprise means Cameroon is a French corporation that they can manage at any time and put whatever leader they choose to. That is what it means. So La République du Cameroon is a French corporation. So it's not even the people of Cameroon that enjoy the benefit. It's a French corporation that France can migrate there and do whatever it takes and control every property of Cameroon. I hope you guys understand where I'm coming from. So France is never for the interest of Africa as a whole. France is never for the interest of Africa as a general. They care little about Africa. France is never for the interest of Africa as a whole. France is never for the interest of Africa as a general. They care little about Africans. So they can manipulate and give bad impression and make you to look like they are very friendly. They are the worst friends in Africa as in general. So now you can understand. So this person they have secretly molded is what we now have in Cameroon. Paul Biya, the priest, the person who's supposed to be a Catholic priest, was molded, and now as a Hijo. This is how I tell you, France are very cunning people. They are not people you can trust. They're very cunning. So now, how did they take over Ahijo? They become distasteful about Ahijo policy. Now they told Ahijo that you are in illnesses, you are sick, you have an illness that require treatment. And so we want Paul Biya to take over while you seek treatment in France. So Ahijo then hand over power to this draconic Paul Biya, who is in the helm of the enterprise of French enterprise. So Paul Biya now became the French in choice of lead. That is why you see Emmanuel Macron will be holding him like the previous president of France, will be guiding him, even though he's old, he cannot even provide any benefit. He doesn't provide any benefit as I speak. But France continued to mold him, to force him on the people of Cameroon. Now you can understand. So Paul Biya became president in 1982. Prior to that, he was Secretary General at the presidency. He was Prime Minister in 1975. So what else does Paul Biya need? He needs to retire in dignity and respect what he has done. Even though he hasn't achieved any benefit to the people of Cameroon, but it is the best interest that he retire with dignity. He retired with dignity. So now, what is the mental state? You know, foreign journalists, they don't tell the truth. They just tell what they want you to hear. They don't tell the truth. One thing they don't ask, in terms of journalism, the foreign press, like the BBC, the CNN, the Fox News, they do not ask why. What is the mental state of the president? Remember that this October 12th election that they have claimed to have won election. Absolutely. Kate, that's correct. That's correct. But that's the point I am driving this message towards. Now, so they claim that Paul Biya has won election, the October 12th election. Well, if you are a president and you are running, you must be able to articulate what is your specific goal and objective that you look forward to accomplish. What are you looking forward? What is your goal? What is your objective? And how often will you accomplish those objectives? There have to be a time frame to accomplish those objectives. Paul Biya has not articulated any of those objectives. He has been consistently prevented from media. Paul Biya has been consistently prevented from media. The wife, Chantal Biya, she is so much She never get a bit of sleep because she is afraid that somebody is going to interview him and leak the information to the media. And so she is always, wherever Paul Biya is, that is where Chantal Biya is. She is always preventing, make sure she control every aspect, every narrative. There are points where she even sat on a chair that's supposed to be seated by the president, because she is always in that moment that something is going to be leaking out to the media. And she has successfully shielded the media. She has successfully shielded the media from have access to Paul Biya. Okay, now, they say he has won election. Let's look at Issa Tchiroma Bakary. Issa Tchiroma, a lady, a woman, a school teacher, was shot in Garwa. Is it Garwa or Marwa? But he was aware of this key fact. And that is the mental state of a president, knowing day-to-day activities of a country, that someone was killed by the military. And that is the fact that president should be able to understand and able to articulate them, that he is aware of what is happening within the country. Paul Biya is not. Paul Biya is not aware of this key fact. He is in this worst state of his dementia. For those who are not familiar with the word dementia, it's a mental decline state. And his decline state is at its worst level. Remember that he even urinate in his pant. He urinate in his pant. Even during his National Day. Why are they forcing this guy to the people of Cameroon? Why? He has had a tremendous career. Let him retire with dignity. So Issa Tchiroma is the person who has won the election. So there is an authentic result and there is fabricated result. So Issa Tchiroma has an authentic result. Why is it authentic? It is authentic because the result were the result that were signed by leaders of Issa Tchiroma Bakary and member of the opposition, or member of the CPDM members. So when those results are signed, they are put forward to the central committee of each political leader. So when this forwarded to the central committee of Issa Tchiroma's party, they tabulated and sent to Issa Tchiroma. So what Issa Tchiroma presented to the general public is the authentic result. Whereas those that presented by the CPDM, by the government officials, is the prefabricated result. But my question is, if a justice system which is supposed to be a truthful veracity, to speak the truth, a justice system supposed to speak the truth, veracity, moral ethics, they're supposed to yield to moral code of ethics, code of conduct. The justice system supposed to yield to moral code of ethics, moral code of conduct than any other institution in the world. But unfortunately, Cameroon justice system is a stewardship that being forced onto the people of Cameroon because it's never an authentic. Why will you, a justice system, reading a fabricated result on behalf of the people of Cameroon? And that is damaging. That is damaging. That is damaging. So you piece Paul Biya, Paul Biya, Issa Tchiroma is the rightful candidate that has actually won the election in Cameroon. So he was supposed to assume a leadership and Paul Biya hand over power to the rightful elected president. So as of October 12 till the present moment, he has not even opened a single word. You have Ferdinand Gongo, who is also part of the architect. You have Ferdinand Gongo and Paul Atanganji and Chantal Biya, the key manipulator to deprive the people of Cameroon of their right, vote cast, and their right to have the result counted. That's right. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. They want to deprive the people of Cameroon their right. And the suffering that is ongoing in Cameroon is at the worst state than any other country in the world. The road infrastructure development, it is at the worst state. And one thing I worried about is the military. The military, look, you guys, the military, if you are the military of Cameroon, or you happen to get this message to the military of Cameroon, look, you guys have undergone a scrupulous education. You have undergone authentic education. You have undergone a skillful training. You are able to discriminate what is factual and what is not. You are able to tell facts. Why are you going and arresting people that they've been deprived? Just imagine that someone has just died and the family are mourning for a death of their relatives, and you go ahead and arresting them. That is the kind of attitude you guys must stop. You are able to discriminate what is right and what is wrong and be able to articulate. That is why you undergo a scrupulous. Your specific duty is to protect. The military, the duty is to protect not just citizens, including the president, not just forcing. Look, Paul Atanganji, the Secretary General at the presidency, Ferdinand Gongo, they are not God. You cannot be arresting your own military officials and putting them in jail because they simply congratulate Issa Tchiroma. That is terrifying. The worst part of it is that a small child, about 5 to 8 years, who simply asked Biya to leave. We have won the election. And you arrested the child and put in a police van to take to where? I mean, let's be logic in reasoning. I understand the training that military have gone through. It's because they have rational thinking ability to be able to discriminate wrongful and unjustifiable claim. They cannot ask you to go and arrest it and you just go there and be arrested. Tell the person no when it means no. And that is a very crucial for the military of Cameroon. Be proactive. Don't just accept orders because they are orders. No, you have to tell the person those orders are wrong and I can't execute those orders. That is the rightful military mindset, that you ought to be able to articulate what is not wrong and what is right for the nation of Cameroon to prosper. I saw the military van that was stuck in a road that was supposed to be a commercial road, but the military van was stuck. They have to be docking those areas to remove a military van. Why this guy that you guys are seriously protecting, that is mentally deranged, is spending, the daughter spend more than the entire budget for the military, allocated for the military of Cameroon. The daughter spend, the one that is a Bob I think she might be suffering from whatever they call high thyroid hormones. She might have these high thyroid hormones that they cannot even take to a doctor to look at the thyroid hormones. That is so outrageous that they can be able to repair the thyroid hormones. Her daughter, but she spent, the budget she spent is more than the budget allocated for the police force or the custom or the military. A single daughter of a president, the money she spent on her is more than the budget allocated for the police department in Cameroon. Imagine what a damaging be able to discriminate what is right and what is wrong. So I urge the military of Cameroon to collaborate with the citizens. I urge the military of Cameroon to collaborate with the citizens that are in a state of coma. The people of Cameroon need a better nation. They need a better leader. They need a better captain to captain the ship. The ship is in the deep sea, and there is no captain. Cameroon is in a deep sea. Cameroon is just like just like a country in a deep sea. If you have ever navigated in the deep sea, you look in the deep sea, there is nowhere. You can't even see the next location because you are in a deep sea. And so you need to have a good captain. And that captain is the person who uses compass to be able to navigate to the rightful destination. So Cameroon cannot move to the rightful destination because there is no captain in Cameroon. Cameroon is now without a leader. I hope this scenario makes understanding. Cameroon is without a captain, and so the captain is badly needed in Cameroon to lead the country to a more prosperous country. So collaborate with the citizens of Cameroon military, and I don't just military in various branches. Collaborate with the citizens. Do not kill, do not fire gun on them because somebody is saying this. Because those people that are giving order, they are irrelevant to the country at this particular moment. Join the people. You work together, liberate the country for the goodness of mankind. If you have your loved one and he's in the military, share this message to them. Let them take a moment and listen to the entire message. It's vital. It's essential. I've brought historical facts. I've brought the relationship. I've brought things that you never have heard. And my goal and my objective here in the great state of Texas is to let you understand the truth that has been missing for the quite century. And I will continue to educate the people of Cameroon how we can overcome this draconic attitude and that we can liberate the country and build a nation for the goodness of mankind. You saw what the other president is doing in Burkina Faso. You saw it. You saw it. Remember that France does not serve the interests of Africa. The diamond, the gold, and all those minerals were sold at the cheapest rate by the French company. But now you saw the revenue that is coming and what the guy is doing in Burkina Faso. It's amazing. Why should we rely on France? No. The next thing I'm going to talk about is the economic of money as a value. That will be my next discussion. Please, that's why I say join me, follow me, so that the next time you don't miss any important discussion that I'm going to be talking about. So I really thank you. If you have a goal, just hit it. You have a diamond, just hit it. You have a love, whatever you can give to keep this momentum going. I really appreciate. You guys have been amazing people. You guys have been a very wonderful people. God bless you. God bless all of you. God bless. God bless all of you. God bless. Thank you again. My name is Funton Daniel, here in the great state of Texas, here in the United States. Love you.